ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. Okay, dear students, is it audible to you people?
Yes, sir.
Good. Mhm. Okay, see, I hope it's almost 12:05 now. Okay, I believe that nobody is in a waiting line to join the meeting. Okay, and because that will be interrupting here, for the class. Okay, maybe another 2 minutes I can wait for you people. Okay, not much. Every day same thing cannot be repeated. I believe you all are grown up people, no? So better communicate among yourself if somebody is getting, for a class too late. Okay, please help them out in understanding that even other people are also waiting for the class who have already joined. So with due respect to those people who have already joined, okay, in time and on time. So I request others to also to join. Okay, anyway, I'm going to stop, adding the people now. Okay, is it audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, done. Okay, fine. Anyway, formally, I welcome you all people for um, your compensation and reward system subject. Okay. Okay. I welcome you people all for your compensation and reward system subject, module one, part two. Anyway, we people have dealt some basics concepts of compensation and how people see compensation and how different people define a compensation as. So, as this will be your part two of module one, compensation reward system. Okay, so here we go one by one. Anyway, it's a habit that we people have to brush it up what we people have discussed into your last class. Okay, in a previous class. Okay, as you know, we people have discussed on certain definitions. Okay, on compensation, and as well as how society usually looks a compensation as. Okay, and as well as even a stakeholders, a stockholders will be investing into your company. Okay, and how those people are going to add to a definition of a compensation. So also we people have discussed on how managers usually look at compensation as an expense, as well as it may be a very competitive pressure how those people undergo while setting up a compensation. So we have also a definition how employees define a compensation. As we people have discussed, like it's a financial security basically for any employee, and also it is a person's economic conditions which will be defined on the basis of how much compensation he receives in return to the job that he does. Okay, and also it is a social well-being, as we said, society how is going to accept an employee on the basis of the earning that he has. Also, he looks that it's a reward for his a job which has been done into organization. Okay, altogether, as we people I discuss it as like which will be referring it as any form of a financial returns, which is a also a tangible services which is being given by an organization to an employee, as well as benefits which an employee is going to receive for the a contract that is has no a contract which is between the employer and an employee on certain relationship. Okay. So also we people have gone through certain forms of pay as a total compensation as well as relational returns which people have also discussed it. Though now like a relation returns which is purely based on a psychological satisfaction or need of a employee, and then your total compensation sometimes depends on the cash which is he is going to receive directly. Also sometimes indirectly, a certain benefits he receives as pension and medical insurance and etc. that we people have also discussed. So we have something like different type of cash compensation, like maybe a base pay that we people have discussed, some merit pay, okay, or any cost of living adjustment, that those people receive on the basis of what changes happen into an external environment. Also, we have discussed around incentives, which they earn something more than what those people have at a base pay sometime. Okay, where incentives are very high when there's a difficulty for any employees to do a job, and he does it in such conditions, he gets it on the basis of some reward. Okay, then we have long-term incentives and also short-term incentives, which has been already discussed. Fine. So we have also discussed some benefits like income protection. Any disability comes to an employee at the time of work, so he gets certain amount or some maybe a job to their own belongings, which will be helping them to lead their life. We have like work-life balance, as I said, maternity and paternity leaves, or maybe paid holidays, which has been given to employees just to be, when they be away, a long time they are going to be away from their families. Managing the family and their professional life becomes very difficult. So at this, type of situations where the employers will be giving them some extra benefits that helping them in managing both their personal life as well as their professional life. As we people have also discussed on allowances, which are very financial benefits which the employer receives by the employer for their, above the regular salary, maybe the loyalty what those people get, shows towards the employer as well as towards the whole organization for discharging their duties and services for a long time with the organization what they are associated with. So we have like relational returns as we people discussed, like they are not on the basis of cash, but they are on the basis of psychological, you know, like, psychologically getting satisfied, working with certain employer or an organization, like getting some recognition of status, okay, by working into such organization, learning opportunities provided by, an employer, maybe employment security, as I told you, people that on the basis of any disability or sudden any, thing happens to an employee, okay, the certain benefits will be given by an employer or a organization. Some challenging works also, which will be adding to his career and his knowledge as well as his skills. So somewhere it will be defining a person on certain type of jobs on the basis of challenging work that he receives. Okay. Okay. Now till the here we people have already discussed into your last no in your previous classes. Sorry, in your previous classes where part one of module one. Okay, of compensations. So any doubts still here? If there are no doubts, I will be continuing with your next. Pardon, please. Okay, fine then. Uh, Now, this is something a pay model which is very important on the point of understanding the entire syllabus. Okay, because maximum whatever people are going to discuss in your syllabus is covered into this model. Okay, so anyway, precisely people are going to discuss it for a few minutes because that can give you some base or an idea on which you people will be able to understand what further concepts are covered into or included into your different units or modules of a subject. Okay, so this module basically depends on three major basic building blocks we say. So these three has to be kept. There will be an objective of compensation, okay, and there will be certain policies which will be forming the foundation of a compensation system, as well as the techniques what they are going to use making up the compensation system. So objectives, policies, and the techniques. Okay, these three are very major components of building blocks which will be helping you people to understand a compensation system or a practice or maybe a structure which any organizations they are using, okay, and they are adapted into their organization, and also they are going to follow it. So we have here, I hope it is visible. Yeah, it's visible. These are three things which I told you people. One as a policies, techniques, and objectives. So all together they are going to lead to the objectives. So any compensation system or a policies or techniques which we people undergo, okay, and we take it into our hand to use it and work into our organization. It all depends on certain objectives. Okay, before we go through these policies and techniques, let me go through some objectives. Okay, if we understand the objectives, probably what we are going to discuss into your policies and as well as techniques of compensation will be helping you people. Why? They will be answering your question. Why? So there are certain objectives like efficiency, fairness, compliance, and ethics. So when we talk about the efficiency, the compensation we come with, okay, with certain structure, maybe with certain, alignment into organization, and how best we people are going to define a job, a person, and his skills, ability, and experience on the basis of how much compensation we people are paying him. So what is the motto behind, paying a compensation is to get an efficiency from the employees. Okay. So efficiency includes what? So this efficiency includes the performance of a person, the quality of work that person gives, okay, on the job, and how much customers are satisfied with his performance, a service which is rendered to them by your employers, and as well as as the stockholders who has a confidence, okay, by getting a satisfied, looking at the compensation system followed into organization shows that how much the organization is healthy, okay, how much a wealthy organization is in paying their employees. So that's why when we people started in the initial class of defining a compensation in different perspective by different people, like as I told you, managers, employers, societies, other stockholders. Here all these comes. Okay, performance, quality, and as well as the satisfaction of customer and the stockholders by looking to the pay structure of the organization will be boosting a confidence among them. Okay. Then we have a fairness. This talks about, even it is like an ethics where this speaks about how fairly all similar type of jobs are defined, and whatever job or say maybe a employee who is receiving certain amount of compensation. So that compensation is whether it is fair or not. Okay, so that talks about a fairness where equal amount of work, whatever has been delivered by an employee, the same amount of the compensational value has to be given to him in return by the organization. So we talk about the fairness in defining and identifying, defining the job and related compensation structure which you people are going to set for that particular job. So that talks about the fairness. So we have like compliance. This talks about legal requirements of any organization with respect to the compensation or the salary aspect, which has been laid down by any state government or any central government or any government bodies. As per the law, what has to be paid to the employees has to be taken into consideration. So sometimes somebody can pay, a certain amount which will be a fixed one irrespective of their skill or an experience of a person. It all depends on that how much a law has been interfering into a compensation structure, okay, and how much it is governing any organization to fix a pay for certain type of job and certain type of qualified employees. Okay, so we have even ethics also. Ethics talks about similar type of jobs has to be paid in a similar way, no doubt. This is the best example for you. Sometimes what happens is the differentiation happens for similar type of job, okay, on the basis of compensation, where compensation will be differing between similar type of jobs. That has to be clearly defined among those both the people who are working on the same job. So that definition may be, you can define on the basis of the experience or output or productivity which is shown by an individual who is working on that particular job. Okay. So this is all about your objectives. Anyway, further in different slides what we have. Okay, in a further further slides we are going to discuss it one by one. But still now, but till this moment, I think a little is required for you people to understand. Okay. Now, any difficulty that you people are finding in understanding an objective? Is it okay? Is it audible now? Can anybody respond? Am I audible to you people?
Yes, Sunny.
Yeah, good. Sure. Thank you. So once we people have an objective into our mind, okay, this is something like that leads to how best these objectives can be achieved. So to achieve it, certain techniques are required, no doubt, common sense it is, but with the techniques, that has to be framed into certain scope. Okay, that has to come under certain rules, regulation, methods, or systems has to be followed for implementing the techniques. Coming with the techniques, deciding upon techniques is not a big issue. But techniques, how you people are going to plan them and how you people are going to implement in achieving your objectives also require certain policies. So they all are interrelated. Once a policy has been framed at the top management by any HR executives or top management itself, so that will be transferred to the functional areas to develop certain techniques and implement them. So ultimately to just achieve certain objectives, whatever has been planned for, maybe an efficiency, maybe a fairness, maybe a compliance or ethical part. Okay. So when we are talking about these policies, no, here policies we have an internal alignment. Okay, then we have a competitiveness, contribution, and management. Now, see, for all these, a different concept like internal alignment, you should have certain policies for that. Even for getting a competitiveness into a market, okay, on the basis of how much you people are paying the laborers, even that also includes the policies. Then you should know that what contributions has been given by a different individual or maybe a group of people in the organization, how much team is contributing to the achievement of the organization, what policies has to be framed from those people. No, you have to frame policies for those people has to be also considered, and how management of this compensation happens. Okay, that also biggest, what we say, a challenging aspect for any, HR person who is working on compensation or maybe for the top management itself, where how you people are going to manage it. So managing is also very difficult. Maybe a transparency on certain, backgrounds, okay, where on certain benchmarks or standards, what and management can fix for individuals can define them that on particular basis only the compensation has been, set for different people and for the different jobs. Okay, so we go one by one when we're talking about this inter-alignment, this purely talks about how you people are going to analyze the work in the techniques. Okay, inter-alignment usually talks about, how the structure has been, framed into the organization here. It will be referring that, the structure which you people have, in the organization regarding a compensation, it will be clearly telling about that, how the comparison has been made between the jobs, okay, which are similar jobs, maybe different jobs also, on the basis of the skill level which each individual or groups or teams have into the organization. So remember, any jobs or people skills will be compared, okay, to the directly to the how much contribution that those people are doing to achieve the organization's objectives. So this is all about your internal alignment, where this includes what analyzing the work, whatever different type of works or jobs which are there into the organization. So those are going to be used here, work analysis. Then we have like wait. Also, we people have something like a description here. So this description talks about you know how each job has been defined, understood, okay, and that has to be understood by both the people, the person who is giving the job and the person who is receiving that particular job. Both has to understand. Once the understanding of the job comes, I think next comes with your evaluation, certification, that how much important the job is. So this evaluation or certification, will be helping or coming to a decision that what exactly the internal structure should be there of an organization for different type of jobs and different type of skill and experience of our people. So this also lead to the efficiency, fairness, compliance, and ethics. Okay. So next we have something like the competitiveness. Okay, this competitiveness talks about how a strong any organization is. Okay, how capable an organization is compared to its competitors in paying the compensation or a salary to their employees. Maybe some comparison happens as I told in the last class, where comparison is also happens on the basis of similar jobs in different companies, similar type of skilled people in a different companies, and how much you people are paying for the same job and same skills what other companies are also possessing. Hence, the other competing companies are possessing. So the comparison happens. Even the pressure from the external environment of competitiveness will be leading to change your compensation structure in your internal organization. So this includes what one you have to define the market. So you people have to define the market that what exactly the demand for the labor is and how much supply is there. So usually what happens, more supply of labor is there, usually the demand for the labor comes down. If there's too much of demand for the labor, it means that supply is less. So you people have to define what exactly the market is and what is the composition of people with certain skill and knowledge to perform certain type of jobs in that particular area. Okay, that has to be defined first. So next comes your survey. Yes, it is important that once you people want to understand what exactly happening into the external environment, okay, how your labor market is into the industry. So you have to come with certain information. You have to collect the information where the information requires that the research has to be done. So what you have to do? Certain instruments you people can, sorry, certain instruments we people can use like survey method you people can use, or sometimes expert opinion can also be used. Whatever people have studied into your research now, so that all can be included here and adopted. So you have to do a research or a survey to find proper information about what is the exact picture of the industry as well as the labor market. Okay. Once you understand, you have to come with certain policy lines because see, and that doesn't mean that the knowledge only you people as an organization have. So even labor also knows what exactly happening into the industry or the labor market. So they can also bargain for certain, the demands may be something high, and those demands may not be sometimes catered by an organization. So how to control these, problems which we are going to face from the side of labor? These are the policy lines which will be helping us to hold their emotions. Okay, we can better hold those people. Fine, to on the track where those people will be working with us with certain policies. Once we people come to know how we are defining the market, understanding the market, we come with certain certain survey or information. Information will be helping us in in defining the certain pay policy lines. Okay, once the policies are been developed, certain structure has to be developed. Now this pay structure purely depends on the internal pay structure of your organization is also affected by the external pay structure of your competitors. So certain pay structure will be developed. So next we have like contribution. This is purely works on how much an output or a productivity which has been shown by and or given by any individual or a group of people in the organization in achieving the objectives of the organization very specifically. So what happens, contribution sometimes, for example, like techniques we people use here. Okay, what type of techniques we people are going to use? Okay, one on the basis of your seniority based, where we people are going to define certain. Sorry, fine. So on the basis of seniority, sometimes we people are going to, fix the compensation. Okay, how long that person has been working with the organization, maybe one, or maybe the skill or the experience that what person is adding day by day, year by year. Okay, and that experience and skill will be helping him to be more efficient person okay, and the productivity what he gives, okay, and how much he's contributing to the objective of the organization. On that basis, also we people can have a a compensation for that particular person. So how much incentives the people are going to pay? Sometimes these incentives are directly linked with the employee's behavior, okay, as well as their attitude and the performance. Remember, the incentive is not only just by somebody who comes with a lot of, for example, a lot of sales, okay, any sales executive or sales manager brings a lot of sales to the organization, and that organization can give more incentive to him on the basis of the product units sold in the market to the customers. Okay, maybe that incentive, sometimes incentives is linked with the behavioral attitude. See, when sometimes the incentives are given on the basis of how much a customer is happy about your sales manager or sales force team or salesperson. Sometimes on the behavior what he has with the customers, on the basis of behavior and on the basis of customer satisfaction towards the attitude what is possessed by a sales manager or a sales personal, okay, towards the customer. Even on that basis also people can pay incentives to them. So both it is on the basis of the performance, sometimes on the basis of attitude or behavior what he is showing towards organization and the customers. On that basis also we people can fix. So that's what we say them all as our techniques. So we have some merit guidelines, like these are like how I told you, no, in your pay policy lines when it comes to your competitiveness. Okay, the same thing also happens here when we have to have certain guidelines. Okay, when we are going to fix the no pay for the performance, what we say is pay for the performance, because the guidelines has to be known before. See, when I was defining or we were discussing on incentive concept, I told you people incentives are known well in advance. Okay, so incentives has to be known in well in advance, and there should be a very transparency, among the the employer and the employee regarding these incentives. Okay, because they are purely based on performance. One side, the other side, if they perform, they should know how much they are going to get. So usually, if known motivation, these are like known type of motives which will be helping to gain a lot of confidence among the employees that whatever the level of performance is expected by the organization, if that is being done, okay, they are achieving that level of performance and the level of contribution which is required, if it is contributed from the employees, okay, then only they are going to get the incentives. So that has to be clearly known. So that's why you should have certain merit guidelines. Okay, what we say for achievement, for no, the person who has achieved and shown the right performance, then only those people are going to gain incentives. Okay, the contribution, what they are giving and how much those people are earning. Now, as I told you people, at the end, the policies with respect to the management, even the management need to have certain policies that how it has to be, used in managing the compensation. So what it includes, the management includes one, as I told you, when the manager defines, it defines the compensation as a cost or expense. So remember, this is a type of an investment what people do. How people, how an organization invests into, say, lands and building. Okay, they are going to invest into machineries, they are going to invest into a technology like software, hardware, etc. Even when we are talking about, say, an employee or an individual or any person, those people are like a cost center to us. Okay, we look them as a resource. Remember, we look them as a resource where how much we people are going to invest in those people and how much those people are going to give us in return. So somewhere we use them as also a type of resource. So we consider that how the best, the cost of labor which has been incurred in the organization can be controlled. Then we have a communication. This is linked with everything. Now see, this communication is linked with the incentive. What you people are going to say them? Okay, how much incentive those people are going to gain. If it is clear, there are no ambiguity between the performance of an individual and the pay what is going to be given by an employer to that person. So there should be a communication between both employer and employer to make it very clear while deciding upon the performance level and the incentive. whatever those going to get incentive as well as the compensation, total compensation. Okay, then any changes comes, even that has to be told to them. Okay, what changes into the policies, what changes into the terms and conditions, what changes into the object organization has to be told clearly, because once they render the service later, we cannot say that this was not expected. Okay, so at the end, as we always do, once your management starts with the planning, and last it will end with the controlling. So whatever we people have discussed, in the entire, your module, this pay model, evaluation is very important here, which will be acting like your controlling device. Okay, at the end, this is something a checkpoint. What all that you people have done, no, in the entire module. Now this management will be helping you people to understand whether it has been achieved or not, okay, as per the guidelines given by the top management. Okay, so evaluation includes any compensation has been set for the performance, internal pay structure, or maybe for internal sorry, pay structure on the basis of external one, and then internal pay structure on the basis of internal alignment. So these all things, whether has been done properly or not, whether it is suitable for the organization condition or not, it will be defined on the basis of your evaluation only. Okay, once the evaluation we do, on that basis we people can say, okay, now whatever the compensation structure that has been followed into the organization is adaptable one, and it will be working well for the organization according to the organizational needs and also achieving the objectives. Okay, any doubts if people have here in this? Should I move further? Okay, fine. Anybody can confirm if this? Okay, fine. Anyway, the chat box has received yes, sir. Fine. So next we have something. Anyway, what has been discussed, in a very precise way. Little bit will elaborate it further. Just to brush it up, what we people have done, we have different slides for your reference. Okay. Now, as I told you, compare this compensation object, what it includes. As I told you, some fairness, fairness, efficiency, and compliance with the laws and regulations laid down by certain state or central government. Okay. So what this exactly efficiency includes also has been discussed, like, how to improve the performance of an employees, how to increase the quality of work, okay, any product or services which you people are going to, produce, how you people are going to delight the customers or satisfy the customers and also your stockholders. And also at the end, controlling your labor costs. Okay. This is, as I told you, fundamental objective where it will be reducing any, fine into the organization if it is not properly defined with respect to the compensation management. Here, this fairness talks about, how fairly that you people are going to treat all your employees, and also on the basis of the contribution those people do. So usually we say, higher pay that we people are going to give for only those people who are going to perform in a very greater way and who has more experience and very much trained person. The person who undergoes training, it shows the interest of that person in knowing the job and related aspects and performing better. As well as, employees needs like, fair wages, as well as a fair procedure that we people have to follow. How much fair wages should we people give, on the basis of the procedure which you people are going to adapt. Okay, that procedure has to be told to them. So we have something like compliance, as I told you, this is a major objective which will be helping you to confirm that whatever a federal or maybe a state compensation law or a regulation has been laid down and we people are following it. So any changes happens in the law related to the compensation, you have to change your pay structure. Okay, this is what it talks about. So we have around four policies here. Okay, as we people have discussed in your, in the previous slides, like internal alignment, external competitiveness, employees' contribution, management of pay. So these all four will be included in different modules or different units of your subject. So we, for just a little understanding before we go into deeper into the specific models or maybe specific units of your subject. Here, this internal alignment, which will be referring to, as I told you, people, like the comparison happens among the jobs and the skills, okay, which is inside the single organization. Okay, and also we have, like, any people who has different set of skills. Usually they are compared with the job, okay, in terms of how much contribution that those people are giving to the organizational objectives. Fine. So we have an external competitiveness where these external competitiveness will be referring to the relationship that how much is there between the external organization and your organization. Okay, this comparison usually happens with the competitors. Okay, fine. Here, what you do is, like, how should any employer will be positioning his pay structure compared to the competitors pay structure. One. And for an example, like, I can ask you, like, how, how much do you people wish to pay your accountants in comparison to what other employees would pay them, okay, in their organization for the same accountant position. So the comparison will happen on that basis. You people set your own compensation structure. Okay, as well as employee contributions. This is something ultimately a technique which we say, like, pay for the performance. Okay, so how much you people perform, on that basis the pay is given to you. Okay, for example, like, more emphasis will be given, more importance is given to the contribution that an individual has given to the organization. Organization, which is a very important policy decisions when you people directly attaching, okay, your compensation to the attitude of the employees and the work behavior what those people are going to show in at the time of work. Then also these type of this pay performance based pay will be will be affecting the fairness that any employees need to understand that first. As I told you, when a contribution when the matter comes of a contribution of an employee, when you people are expecting certain level of contribution from the employee, what in return that he is going to get has to be told. One side, a communication. And second talks about a judging criteria where even you should give a space or a room to any employees to understand why this standard of pay has been set for this level of performance. Has to be told to him and make him that understand it, believe in you people, and the fairness comes, this concept of fairness only will be successful when you are able to make your employees to understand what is the level of performance he has to give, and why we people are giving them this amount of cash or a benefit or total compensation. So at the end, I said, the management where policies which is regarding to the pay system will be acting like your last block of the model. Okay, which will be which means that ensuring that the right people will be getting the right pay for doing the right type of job and achieving the right objectives of the organization. If everything is in the proper way, in the line, then there is no doubt that management of compensation, okay, and getting the level of uh, pay for those people and is the right way. Okay, then we have also we say, like, understanding and communicating that how the pay system is working in the organization, and doing so is ethically and very fair way has to be followed and should be told to the employees. Okay, at the end, as we people have discussed, like, pay techniques. This is a structure which will be depicts a relationship among the jobs and the skills or competencies inside the organization. These three has to be kept in the mind. One, techniques always works on these three at the most of the time, where the jobs what you people have and the profiles included into that particular job that has to be followed. And then we have like a skills associated to perform the job and possessed by the employees who is working on that particular job, and as well as, or we can say it as a competence, how better that person is compared to the other among the organization and outside the organization for the similar type of jobs in the similar type of competing organization. Okay, it is usually based on the importance that you people give to the work in achieving the organization objectives. The major goal of this is that you have to establish a structure which will be helping to suit or align with the organizational objectives. Where in return the fairness of the pay, also the system which will be affecting, as I told you, like it will be affecting the attitudes of the employees or behavior of the employees, and also it will be helping you people to know that organizational regulatory compliances which you people have adopted and following. Okay, so what we do till here we people are going to stop. Okay, for today I think this is more than enough. This requires a lot of time to understand, because I hope at the end, okay, at the end, once you people complete your entire syllabus of compensation, this reward system, you will be able to understand this pay structure. Sorry, the pay model. Fine. Till then, just have a brief glance over this. I think I've convinced you people on this little. The further, the elaborated one will be discussed into your different modules. Fine. Okay. Till then, till here, any doubts you people have? Anybody who has a doubt? No, sir. No, sir. Fine. We'll do one thing. In our next class, we'll start with strategic pay perspective. I mean strategic perspective of the pay. Fine. So what are the pay system objectives and etc. Fine. So for today, I think I have to sign off. Okay. Thank you very much for listening patiently. And anyway, you people, please convey your friends that after 5 minutes I may not be admitting those people to the meeting. Okay, the reason is that nothing like the policy or maybe a procedure of mine. Thing is that will be interrupting my class. So that's the only reason that I cannot admit you people whosoever comes late. Okay, I hope that okay, I hope that you people will convey your other friends. Please join early. Huh? It will be better if people attend the classes. Fine? Is it okay? Can anybody respond? You can, you people can on your audio. No problem. Okay, fine then. Anyway, your feedback form will be open after the class. I have specifically, mentioned it in your group. Huh? Then you people can, start it. Once it is over, after 1 o'clock, you will be receiving, the form open. Fine. So till then, you people have to wait. Hmm. Thank you. Shall I stop the class? No doubt. Okay, then good. Okay, you people have a nice day today. Huh? Enjoy the day. Hmm?